compared to like the Walmart $300 bike, you're going out and buying, a road bike for like, or a mountain bike for $5,000.
Right.
And I think Rapha, probably among others, but Rapha looked at that and was like, however they managed to go about it, they have positioned their brand as being the premier high-end haute couture of cycling. So, man, this stuff costs so much money. It's a fantastic quality, but it costs so much money.
I actually have like a perspective on this, which is that, when I was out in the market looking for like professional gear, like proper gear to bike ride in my intent was more from the lens of it's winters. It's so cold outside, like it's like negative degree temperatures, and I want to still bike ride. And then I went to like Mech. I looked at a whole bunch of other brands. And when you look at like Gore-Tex stuff, it's super expensive, even if you're at Mech. So I was like, if I'm paying like what, $50, $100 more, I can just get Rapha. Why not just get Rapha then?
Why not? Looks like their branding worked on you. Position.
It totally worked. It's, here's the funny story. So, how you were describing like how Rapha embedded itself and got synonymous with like coffee culture, and then it becoming this lifestyle experience as well. And I love the kind of content that they put online. Like the content and storytelling that they do is so freaking on. Oh my God. Like this is my full, like, cause I tried to break down, like, how did I even fall in love with Rapha? How did that even happen? And I kind of broke it down, and I sat down and reflected on it. And I was like, actually, no, I was bike riding and I reflected on it, which was, I'm really a big fan of this company called Work & Co. And their founders are bike riders. So Joe Stewart, Philip Memoria, those guys would write about Rapha. And then they finally got Rapha as their client, and they redesigned Rapha's website, Work & Co.
Oh, very cool.
And so I saw the website redesign, and I was like, oh, sick. I was just impressed by the design. I was not even thinking about bike riding and cycling at that point, but I was just in love with the way they executed the site, the user experience, like the way they did like the product layouts. And then finally, when I got my bike and I got into cycling, I was like, wait a second, those guys were talking about Rapha. There must be something cool about it. So I went to the YouTube page, and I think, how you get like sync into a series of episodes, like if you watch like Game of Thrones or whatever. I ended up watching pretty much all the YouTube videos of Rapha. I couldn't stop watching them. I literally sat down and watched everything. Paid so close attention to like the cinematography, the storytelling, the edits, the colors, every piece of content that they were putting out was like,
I totally understand. There are other brands that produce really good clothing, right? Like I'll wear Castelli, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But as a experience, like Rapha's just stands above. And I totally agree. They put on races. They put on this race in the UK that was, I'm going to forget the name of it, but it was an evening race. And like the whole thing was this ridiculous production. Imagine just like, so their brand, right? So think of like those colors, but in the middle of the night with like lights and cameras and music, and some of the fastest, because it's invite only, some of the fastest racers you can imagine whipping around this criterium track, which is just built in the middle of, I don't know if it's UK or France, it's somewhere in Europe.
Right.
But like, it's the spectacle of the brand, right? Like you're there to see cycling, yes, but it's the way that Rapha presents cycling to you that is, for me anyways, and I think obviously for you, resonates so strongly that there's just nothing that compares.
Yeah, and then here's the other things which were really interesting, which I found that added to my existing story in my brain about the brand. Like all these little interactions that I had reinforced what I believed. So I ordered a couple of products. Okay, I want the leggings and I want the jacket, the Gore-Tex jacket. And then I got myself the shoes and everything. And I ordered everything. And it arrived, and it turned out that the sizes all of them were wrong, because cycling clothes.
Oh yeah. There's that lesson to learn too.
Because before this, I have never ever in my life worn, like, this is okay. So I buy cycling gear for the first time, and it's Rapha. So, I guess it's just a coincidence, I guess. So all of the sizes were wrong. So I just packed them, sent them back. No questions asked. And I just said, could I get the other sizes? So I got all the other sizes, and the sizes that fit me, I kept those, and then I sent everything else back. And after I got that first set, then I knew my sizing. My size is a medium. And then I was able to just order. Then I would just go to the website and say, okay, medium, blah, 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 and done.
Yeah. See, if you just asked me, I would have told you were a medium.
Well, I didn't. Yeah.
But
I thought it was a large.
The other fun thing is, no way. You're no way. But here's the thing. What you found out, just like all other fashion brands, you found out your size for Rapha. That's
exactly.
Not your size. It's very different.
Yes. So it's basically the core collection is different from the pro collection. So the core collection is a little bit more looser, comfortable. And the pro collection is like all about aerodynamics and speed and snug fit.
You really shouldn't go for the pro collection unless you have like single digit body fat. Otherwise, it's not.
I know. Yep. Yeah. So at the time, and this is the truth, I'm not making this shit up. At the time when I ordered it, my body fat percentage was, I think, 12 or 11. And when I got the gear, I was riding pretty aggressively. I had subtracted it to the best was like 8% for like a month. Wow, and then it went back up to 9. Yeah. So I'd maintained that for a while, but now I'm like back to, I think, like 24% body fat, and I'm like put on so much weight because of my injuries and stuff. So
that's a totally separate topic.
Yeah. But the feeling.
But what's interesting just about the Rapha thing, which I think like from you and I, we can have an interest, because it seems like we're kind of talking about something that's really interesting here, which is like, they don't really, it's a commoditized space, right?
Yeah.
So like clothing is clothing. Yes, you can sometimes get better tech, but like by and large, it's the same shit everywhere. But they have positioned themselves and created this like media machine around them.
Yeah.
That it's just lifted the entire brand. And like you and I will sit here and talk about Rapha, who in reality is probably no more or less special than another like, major apparel company like Sugoi or something, except that it's positioned differently. Like I just relate differently. And, we can geek out over the design of what we're looking at, not just the product itself. Super cool.
Seriously. Yeah. Like they pay so much attention. And this brand was started in 2004. I'm looking at their website like right now. They started in 2004, and Simon Mottram is a British guy. So I wonder what the correct pronunciation of his last name would be. Simon Mottram, maybe. Not sure. I try to pretend I'm like a British guy, but like everything, like from their website to the content that they put out on social media, to the videos that they make, to the actual gear itself. Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed.
But it's like it's the pinnacle, right? Like if I had my own, like if I had my own company and I had to worry about putting myself into the world, that's what I would aim for, right? Like your not only your brand, but your positioning and your strategy, the multimedia you create, the events that you put on, and the product are all stellar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, spot on. Like even in fact, what the other really, like, this is so subtle, but like on Rapha, you have like these milestones and challenges, and the little thumbnail style graphics that Rapha puts out are so freaking sick. Even those, like, that's such a like frivolous, like such a tiny expression of the brand. But those are like so meticulously done. Even like the little booklets that they've made. In fact, you know what I'm thinking? I should gift some of those as like Christmas gifts to certain people. They're just like fun cycling books and stuff. I'm looking at their website right now. Holy shit!
But it's like it's they're afforded the luxury, right?
Yeah.
To worry about the smallest of details, which it's an interesting thing, right? Because at some point they weren't making enough money or positioned well enough to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
But they got successful enough and spent money and time in the right places where now all of that is additive to the brand, right? And the stuff you're talking about, these like micro interactions and micro graphics and these things that as a designer you might pick up on and you might really appreciate the craft of it. But as someone who isn't necessarily looking at it that way, you're still recognizing the difference, subconsciously, right? Because the whole experience is so polished and so complete that you're not put in a position where there's nothing to notice. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing distracting, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yes.